Today, our focus is on having the eyes of an entrepreneur. As we know, what sets entrepreneurs apart is that while others see a challenge, they see an opportunity. There are loads of dimensions to being an entrepreneur, but for today, we're going to focus on recognizing market gaps as opportunities. And joining us to do justice to this topic is the Managing Director and CEO of Ocean Basket, Mr. Kayode Olumartins. Mr. Olumartins, thank you for joining us on Network Africa.
Hi, Bessie, how are you?
Now, let's begin with how easy it is to identify the gap in an economy, for instance.
Well, you know, I'm going to ask you, are there actually gaps out there? I'm not really sure whether they're gaps. I don't see them as gaps because gaps mean it connotes filling in something that's missing. We see them as entrepreneurs, we see them as opportunities. And not every gap that you identify is actually fillable. And it might not actually be fillable for the environment that you're engaging in business, that you're engaged in business in. So we look at these what you call gaps as opportunities, and we look at the ability to recognize these opportunities in a way that will be beneficial for you and for the society in which you're actually conducting business. So sometimes it's not actually easy recognizing those gaps, but when you see those opportunities, you need to be prepared to take advantage of those opportunities in good time as well.
Okay, now talking about taking advantage of opportunities, what if you see an opportunity in an industry where you're not particularly familiar with? What do you do?
Well, you know, over the years, I've seen different types and kinds of entrepreneurs and people that work in corporate organizations who are not necessarily keyed into that particular organization. I've seen doctors run banks. I've seen medical professionals, become literally contractors and builders. And what it all boils down to is the ability to actually research what you found, whatever opportunity that you found out there. You need to go ahead and make sure that you research it as much as possible so that when the opportunity comes, you're prepared to actually take advantage of the gap that we mentioned earlier. It's all about research, all about knowledge, all about being able to prepare yourself and equip yourself to be able to take advantage of the situation that you find yourself, or the situation that you've decided to go into yourself.
And how easy is it to bounce off ideas with others when you have a business idea? For instance, you might be scared that if I let this person know what my plans are or what ideas I have, it might actually go ahead, and kickstart something with that idea before I even get to do it.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. That happens a lot in our setting. I remember, a while back when a lot of people were just starting out in business. My generation was starting out in business. We had to actually go and approach banks and actually investment houses to see whether we could put our proposals on tables and see whether people would actually look at those proposals favorably, and then we take advantage of those, and then take advantage of those proposals by investment coming from these banks. And over the course of time, those proposals and those investments went into the wrong hands, and then you discover that what you thought about, over the past 6 months appears on the streets of Lagos or whatever capital city you might have. But that being said, you still need to bounce off ideas. You still need to engage other people. No man's an island, and you cannot expect to have all the knowledge that you need to actually take advantage of the situation which you want to take advantage of. You need to actually bounce off those ideas of other people. And then I must say, even if you do bounce off those ideas of people, friends, relatives, and mentors and other business people, you also do, most importantly, have to seek the correct professional advice. Going into business would entail you actually talking to your lawyers, talking to your accountants, talking to the appropriate government agencies, so that you're familiar with the guidelines and the laws that guide whatever venture you're going into. And I can't overstress that point, because a lot of entrepreneurs go out there, they get involved in business, they get involved in an enterprise, and 3 months, 6 months, 1 year down the line, they discover that they didn't cross all their T's or dot all their I's. And at the end of the day, they find themselves in a situation where they're not able to take full advantage of the industry that they've decided to put themselves in. So seeking that professional advice, seeking advice from professionals, it's invaluable. It's invaluable.
Now, talking about competition, there's almost no business that is new. For instance, you're into the food business and we have loads of food retail outlets there. So how do you cope with competition?
Ocean Basket is, you say we're into the food business. Well, yes, we're into the hospitality business and we're into the distribution of seafood products within, the distribution of seafood products in itself. Competition is great. What does competition do? It keeps you on your toes. You see, Nigerians being who we are, we're very entrepreneurial people. We see opportunities and we want to jump onto the boat and take advantage of it. You will discover that if you set up a business, 6 months down the line, you'll find somebody else doing basically the same thing on your model, and guess what? They might even be doing it better. So competition is good. Competition keeps you on your toes. Competition gives you the opportunity to improve upon yourself. It gives you the opportunity to actually, succeed in areas where other people failed. The gaps that you're talking about, it's being able to take advantage of the imperfections that you see in an industry. If you go out there, and I must make an example out of Channels Television, because I'm sure when they started over 20 years ago, they saw a gap. They saw imperfections within the industry that they were operating in, and they felt that they could do it so much better. And that is what it's all about: going into an industry and doing it better than you're actually witnessing, than you're actually seeing. So we go out there, and in Ocean Basket, we go out there, and when we look at the hospitality business, we say, what is it all about? It's all about the customer. It's all about the client.
All right, thank you very much, Kayode, for joining us and Network Africa.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Louise.